Well, hello and welcome to part three of our Google Hangout on MissouriNet.com with the Missouri Department of Conservation as we take you through step by step on how to hunt. And I'm joined again by Kyle Larimore from the Missouri Department of Conservation, our hunter education and shooting range coordinator. Kyle, we've taken people from the very beginning of going online, taking the skill sessions, getting certified, buying your tags, and now we're at the point that I have been looking forward to and that I was excited about, and that was to actually go out on the first hunt. What is it like for you, for an experienced hunter, to take someone out like me who hasn't done it before?
Oh, I mean, it's a totally new experience. I feel everybody should do it. I mean, it's, when you hunt for when you're out hunting yourself, obviously it's fun, but when you see someone else harvest a deer or a turkey or shoot a clay target and bust it for the first time, it's a whole new experience. You're sharing a passion, you're sharing an experience that's with somebody else, and you're introducing somebody new to hunting, to shooting sports, to outdoor and conservation. It's a great opportunity. So.
And you can certainly go hunting and go through the mentorship program where you can go out with someone for the first time. But I would even recommend, because it was very helpful to me, if you're going to go hunt, you've been certified and you're ready to go out, I would go along with someone who is experienced, because there's just so many things about nature that you can pick up and learn. And there was a lot that I learned about from you in terms of when we were sitting in the blind, for example, of not moving, that deer pick up on that they might be used to seeing a blind there, or they can recognize faces or figures that are popping through that blind that can throw up red flags for them. So there were a lot of things about nature that I didn't know about. So I mean, it certainly would recommend going with someone experienced your first time.
Oh yeah, I mean, we take for granted is I grew up hunting with my dad, so from a very young age, you're learning those things, whether how to walk through the woods quietly, stepping over logs, just the way you talk, the way you act, I learned those things younger, and so that's what's part of hunting is learning from somebody else. Obviously, you can go out and experience it yourself, but you're going to learn faster and be more successful if you have a mentor, somebody that is experienced. And then the more you hunt, it's like anything. The more you hunt, the more experience you get, the more you learn. And then if you hunt the same place, the same property, you're going to learn those deer. You're going to learn, the turkey. You're going to pattern them. You're going to figure out how they act. You're going to remember those things and change your tactics to be more successful.
Well, we went out to Pigg Hollow Farms in Gasconade County, and we took a ranger down to our blind. We got set up, and you recommend, I mean, deer are moving all the time throughout the day, but you recommend that the best chance is early in the morning or later in the afternoon. That's when they seem to be the most active. And so we went out late in the afternoon, and we waited, and I thought that would be an issue for me. And I think a lot of people wonder that is, am I going to be able to sit and be still and be quiet for that long of time? But it was really interesting to me, and where I first noticed it, Kyle, was, I don't know, we were out there maybe a couple of hours, and you kind of see the field, and you kind of notice the pattern of the grass or the branches, and there was something that as I looked at like this one spot for like the 20th time, there was something that kind of caught my eye, and it's like something looks different out there, and I couldn't tell what it was, and I just stared in on it. And it was quiet and patient, and I don't know, it was probably 40, 50 yards. There was some brush and some trees, but there was a buck, and I remember that excitement of, oh, there's something there. I remember, like kind of nudging you, like, there's a buck out there. And so I mean, that's part of the excitement is the waiting, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you never know what's going to happen. A lot of times you kind of have an idea as, oh, the deer come out about 3 o'clock, but you just never know. The deer are moving around all day. They'll travel. But yeah, you're right. When you first get in that stand, you start paying attention to the woods, paying attention to the field. You're picking out things. You'll see spots that, oh, that's a deer, and then it's not, and then your eyes will adjust, and then finally, when you see your first deer, like, oh, that's what it looks like, or it just stands out, and then and that's in your case, that buck was standing there, you've seen it, and that's the excitement. because you never know what's going to happen. It's hunting. We could have sat there all day and seen nothing, but luckily we had activity when we went out.
So, and let's get to some of that video too. So the buck ended up, we thought it could go one of two ways. It would either come out around the trees and get out to the field and feed, or go up a hill, and ended up going up a hill. So we missed out on that. But then we saw some yearlings, and then later a doe that came behind us, and that's what we ended up going after and attempting. So I'll play some of this video that was shot as we go out to the stand. And people asked me, Kyle, if I was nervous. When you take people out for the first time, are they nervous? Are they excited? What are their typical emotions?
Oh, I mean, the excitement. I mean, that's why we hunt. Is we want to excite them, to get excited about the opportunity. Of course, you get nervous too when you see that deer come up. You're nervous about, am I going to be able to get over there quietly? Will I make a good shot? So it's both. It's just a mixture of emotions, and that mixture of emotions is why we do what we do, and that's why we get out there and hunt.
Now, it looks like we were really roughing it here. I mean, we've got chairs inside the blind and relaxed, but, at times we opened up the window. It was still, cold. The temperatures were cool when we went out, and, so, I mean, it wasn't, I wasn't necessarily roughing it to the extreme, but it was still, still difficult if you're not prepared for it. And there's one of the yearlings that we saw. The thing that I was nervous about, Kyle, was that I wanted to make, and this is something that the Missouri Department of Conservation, I think, does a really good job, is that the goal is for a quick, clean kill. And that's what I wanted, and that's what I focused in on. And after we had the 3 yearlings and then the doe that came up, it was an opportunity. I had to go after one of them, and I decided to get the doe. And but that's what I really wanted to do, was just a quick, clean kill, and not get into a situation where I had to track it or just wound it and maybe not find it. So for me, that was the big thing.
Oh, that's any hunter, especially archery hunting, because in archery it's not maybe as effective as a rifle. It's a different feeling when you shoot an animal and it does get away. It's tough because hunters, it's our responsibility to put the animal down humanely, but have a quick, clean harvest. And then our goal. I know that's our goal. So.
And so one of the things people were asking me, was I nervous? And there was just that, I wanted to make sure that I came through with that. But this may sound funny, and I told a lot of people this, that leading up to the hunt, I would probably for a couple of weeks, when I would lay down at night and get ready for bed, I would visualize. I would go through visualization, because I remember when we were out practicing on the range, my last shot that I took, I felt like I rushed it, and I hit the bottom of the paper. I didn't really hit the target, and I just remember not being set. My breathing wasn't ready, so I went through a lot of that, because I thought, what, the first time I see a deer, I'm going to be nervous, I'm going to be excited. And so I really tried to control those emotions, and I thought I did a pretty good job of that. And so I don't know if other people do that or not with the visualization, but that's what I did, kind of put myself in the mind, all right, what am I going to do if I see a deer and I'm in this situation? How will I handle it? And it seemed to work. We took care of it pretty quickly.
Right. I think we all do that. I couldn't tell you how many nights I laid awake, especially the night before deer season or the night before a big hunt, and just laying there and get no sleep because you're so excited, and you're thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. Am I going to be successful? Am I going to have a good hunt? Of course, you always know you're going to have fun, but I think we all do that. Is we lose a lot of sleep just thinking about those things, and it's part of it. It's the fun part, and you can run it through your head. And we talked about this before when hunting is. We can run those scenarios through our head, and do they ever work out the way we want them to? Like in our hunt, we were focusing on okay, the deer are going to come out on this side, and what happened? They come out the completely opposite side, and we had to completely rearrange, and it worked.
Yeah, as you can tell, I mean, we had a video crew with us, and so the video crew was sitting behind Kyle and myself, and then that's where the deer, and so then we had to, while they're out looking, they're kind of looking around at us, the deer, like, what's going on over there in that blind, and, they're trying to move their cameras, and I'm trying to get into position, so we had some challenges, no doubt about that. I do want to bring up one thing, Kyle, that I think is important. All right, so we got the harvest. we go out to the deer. I think people have to realize, though, that you have to field dress this and you have to get this deer ready, because you can't just leave it sit out there. Otherwise, you start worrying about meat that starts rotting. And so there's another process to once the harvest has been completed, you have to field dress. And so talk a little bit about that, because we were fortunate enough, we had a Ranger that came that we were able to load that up there. But if you have a truck or you have a car or a minivan or something like that, you have to make arrangements that once this animal is down, you have to transport it. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that's the important part that a new hunter needs to really consider.
Right. The hunt is the fun part. The work begins after the harvest. And, everyone's hunting for the meat. And, you want to make sure you preserve that animal and use as much of the meat as possible. And the first step is obviously to tag the animal and telecheck it. But then you have to field dress it and get, the vitals are and the internal organs are warm. And so you need to get the warm parts out of the deer so that it doesn't spoil. So you have to field dress it right away. And then what we did was, once we field dressed it, we got the organs out of it, then we hung it. The temperature was good. Obviously, this deer season we're lucky enough to have, somewhat freezing temperatures to where the animal could cool and we could hang it without any issues. Early bow season, that becomes an issue. If it's 70, 80 degrees, you have to do something with that animal quickly so that you can preserve the meat. Either quarter it up, get it into a cooler, back to the freezer, take it straight to the processor. So those are always things you have to prepare for. Is after the harvest, is give yourself enough time to take care of that animal and get it hung, and so that you preserve that meat so that you can fix it, cook it.
And if you don't have an area where you can hang the deer yourself, as you talked about the meat processor, I called one and was talking to them a little bit and getting some information. This particular meat processor said, we like if you just bring it to us, because then we can do everything. We can make sure that the deer's healthy. We have the ability to hang it, skin it, and do all those things too. So once you field dress it, you may want to call around to a meat processor and find out if they'll take it right away, and just in case you don't have the ability to hang it yourself. So those are some things to think about it, and that's really the important step. Is once you've done the hunt, what's next and how you take care of that. And I think that's important. So we finished. We had great success with our deer hunt. Now, Kyle, of course, over the next few weeks, we're going to talk about preparing that meat. We'll be in the kitchen. And of course, I'm also going to take care of waterfowl hunting with Jim Lowe from the Missouri Department of Conservation. So hopefully we have some success there, and then we can get in the kitchen and have some duck and some deer and figure out some great recipes too.
Right. Yeah, that's back to the fun part. Gotta love eating the harvest. Yeah. You have your certificate with you?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, let me show this. This was presented to me by the Missouri Department of Conservation. It's my first deer. It's got a photo of me with the deer, and I'll read it. I don't know if you can read it well, but it just says, this is certified that Bill Pollock at my age, and I'm sure most of the people that have this are 12, 15, 16 years old, but it's got my age of 43, perfect for adult onset hunting, demonstrated hunting ability for the first time by harvesting the deer pictured below. And it says, congratulations on harvesting your first deer. Hunting helps keep Missouri's herd healthy and strong. Thanks for being a good conservationist from the Missouri Department of Conservation. So I've got that. That's going to hang up on my wall. That's very nice of you guys. I appreciate it. And Kyle, I appreciate everything that you did for this hunt and everything that you've done so far.
Oh, I was excited. Like I said, I'm just glad we were successful. That makes, of course we're going to enjoy the hunt no matter what. But when you harvest something, the excitement just increases. After we harvested, we were both. We never stopped talking. We were talking about the hunt, what happened. That's just part of it. That's why we get out there, and I just appreciate getting that opportunity to share that experience with you.
Well, it's something that I certainly wanted to do, and for those of you watching this, we're taking you step by step, and nothing is staged, nothing's planned. How it happens is how it happens, and I enjoyed it. We didn't know if it would be one of those things where I went and didn't enjoy it, and who knows, we might get in the kitchen and I might taste deer and go, oh, I don't like this. But hey, that's part of it. And that's what we're going to learn. So that's coming up in some later series. We hope you've enjoyed it so far. Remember to check out our series on the Missouri Department of Conservation's website and also here at MissouriNet.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again for part 4 real soon.